Alright guys, welcome back. So this video we are going to save our data to Cloud Firestore. Okay, so to do that, first thing first, we need to actually set up our Cloud Firestore. So I'll go to my Firebase account. So I will go here and just create a database. So I need to start in production mode. You can just leave it like that and just select this and just leave it to enable and just wait for it to set up, and then we continue. So most of you guys have been asking me to make a video of how to save data to Firestore, retrieve data and all those stuff. So this video just covers all of that, and just know that we're actually using the current version of Firebase as at when I'm doing this video, which is September 26, 2021. So we are actually in the no safety stable version of Firebase dependencies. Alright, so all this stuff are set up and we are good to go. So I don't have any worries here. So what I'm going to do now is actually to create the method to store the database. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a service basically. So it's going to be db service. Okay, db service dot dat. Okay, so right here I will create three functions. One is for adding to do. Okay, I think I will also need to have another one which is more like update to do, and I think we should do that as well. And we also have another one which is delete to do, delete note. Why do I keep saying to do? And then another one to read. Okay, read, I'm just going to do it from the UI as well to just make it easy. Okay, that's how I normally do this stuff. So this is going to be a future of string. So I'm just creating the functions. Now just know that this function is going to be for adding to do, and then we are going to call it whenever we click on this button. Okay, whenever we click on this button here, we are going to call it. Okay, so I will go back to my db service and add to do. So basically we are going to pass three things, and the first one is going to be the title, the second one is going to be the node. So I'm going to create two parameters. It's going to be name parameters. So the first one is going to be a string title, because that's what we are saving to Firebase. Make sure you put this stuff if you are in not safety, but if you are not using not safety, you don't have issues. And then we can now have another one which is the body. And yeah, but this is not actually nice, so I need to actually put this in a class. So just cut this. I need to create a class and call it db helper, just like that. Okay, then paste this stuff here. All right, so add to do, and what we need to do next now is to create the Firebase instance. Okay, the auth instance and also the Cloud Firestore instance. Okay, so I'm going to call this one collection reference and db collection, and I will call this fire. You can just say to do's, all to do, all nodes, sorry, just call it nodes. Okay, so this is the collection that we're going to save every node. So remove this. Okay, so we have this. So this is the collection that we're going to save every nodes. More like when you come here now, you're going to see collection. So let me just add. Okay, we're going to add that later. But this collection, we are also going to have an inner part, and then that inner part, I'm going to use the current user ID to specify that part. Okay, so another user will not be able to read the same data that the previous user added. Okay, so I'm going to use the user ID to actually differentiate it. So if I want to read it, I will also pass the user ID. Don't worry, all of this you're going to see in this video. All right, so I'm not really making this video paid. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube for you guys to see, just actually a free one. But if you want to sponsor it, no problem, and feel free to do that as well. Or you want to show some tip, and please don't forget to subscribe as well. And the next one I'm going to do is actually the user auth. So I'll call this user, and the Firebase auth instance. So I'll call it Firebase auth.instance. Oh, I still need to remove that, so let's just quote it this currently user. So I'm going to remove this. All right, okay, so now we are good to go. Remember I said I'm also going to store the date and time that the user entered. Okay, we have this auth, this db. So what I want to do is just to do some try and catch, so to just catch some things. So first thing first, I'm going to create the data which you are going to add. So it's going to be a type of map. Okay, and I'm going to have title. So the title is going to be this title here, which is this one, and then I'm going to have the body. So this is more like, this is actually similar way if we're making any post request using HTTP. Okay, so we're going to have the time as well, but for now let me just use date time, and this is it. These are the three datas we are actually going to add, which is the title, body, and the time. So what I'll do, I'll just try that, and what I'll do is just to call the db collection dot, remember I said I'm going to use an inner part, so that one is going to be the doc. The doc is going to be the inner part. So this doc, now I'm going to use the user ID to actually put it there. Okay, so I'll use the user ID, then I'll now say dot and collection. Yeah, dot collection. I'm gonna say my notes. Okay, my notes, and then I can add it now. Dot add. So adding, I'm actually adding this data. Okay, so I can terminate this stuff now. So once it adds, I can now return notes added. Okay, like so, and then I can catch error. So you can just say some Firebase error whatsoever, but for this I'm just going to use catch. Let me just use catch here to just return whatever the error is. Let's say e.message or to string, like so. Okay, so this is it, how we add to do. Okay, so once that is done, now I'm going to do the next function. So the next method I'm going to work on is actually the method to update to do. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one because it's still similar stuff. So I'm just going to go here, but this time around now I'm going to create another function. So just call, I'm going to create another parameter. So this one is going to be to add, more like the ID of the current to do that the user wants to update. So I'll call this one ID. Okay, so what we do now, I will say I'm still going to use this stuff with the time that it was updated. Okay, id.collection. So instead of using .add here, what I will use is still .doc again to actually pass in the ID that the user wants to update, and then I will say .update. Okay, so now I'm going to pass in this data to update. Okay, so you can see just simple, nothing much. So I'm just going to say to do updated as the response. Okay, like so. So for deleting it to do, I'm still going to do the same thing, and now we're just going to use delete here. Okay, as the function name, and you're also going to have the ID as well. Okay, the ID of the to do that the user wants to pass. Don't worry, I'll show you how to get the ID. And now we don't need this stuff. Okay, so we're just going to call this, and then I will call doc. They'll pass the ID delete. Okay, you're just going to delete the to do completely. All right, so this is it, and you can say to do deleted. All right, so now you can see this is the method to delete to do, this is the method to update to do, this is also the method to add the to do. So later on we're going to show, so in the next video I'm going to show you how to implement each of these functions, and then